So my female 22, boyfriend 24, has this friend, female 25, who moved in 4 months ago because she had nowhere else to go. Now, I don't mind having her as long as she respected our boundaries and the rules around the house, but that's definitely not happening. She's very loud, comments on everything, and just generally does inappropriate stuff and excuses it for being a Latina. She doesn't help at all, besides maybe cooking, sometimes, but she doesn't clean up the mess she makes and invites people over whenever she wants. She changed in the living room in front of us, and I asked her to change in her room, but her excuse was that she was trying to feel at home, and then she suggested I should too, as it would strengthen my bond with my boyfriend. So I talked to my boyfriend because I'm uncomfortable with this whole situation, and he told me not to overthink. She always interrupted our time together and would even sit between us during a movie or take my space and cuddle him in the most unfriendly way. When I asked jokingly if she was trying to take my man, she would excuse it on her ethnicity, and that's how they grew up. So I knew I had to ruin this Friday night they had for them. So I called my boyfriend, and when he was about to get up, she said that it was their favorite part and that he could leave later. I insisted, but she kept pulling him. So I went and pulled him to our room, discussed how what she was doing was upsetting and that I no longer wanted her living with us. And he agreed I had the right, but that she has nowhere to go and I'll have to wait until she finds a job, which she's not even trying to get. While we were talking, she came and tried to open the door, which was locked. So she started knocking, and we just ignored her until it got louder, and he asked her to leave. But she got even louder and then started saying how I ruined the only time she gets with him. I had enough at that point, but my boyfriend suggested he talks to her first, so he went, and they took almost 2 hours. So I went to check on them and heard her telling him that he shouldn't accept someone who ruins a friendship as a partner, and that's a big red flag, and he should kick me out. But this place is my property that I inherited from my aunt, and at that point, I knew I had to kick her out. I didn't even ask what conclusion they came up with and waited in the living room until they came out, and I just told her to look for another place and gave her 2 weeks max. She's been crying since yesterday, refusing to eat and not coming out of the room. So my boyfriend is saying I went overboard and hit a sensitive spot of hers, basically telling her to leave when she has no family or anywhere to go. So, am I the idiot? This is your property, correct? And she has the nerve to suggest to your boyfriend he kicks you out. Not the idiot, but you don't have a homeless friend problem. You've got a boyfriend problem. If your boyfriend had any respect for you, he'd have stopped this a while ago. Something tells me he's enjoying all this attention he's getting from his new roomie. It wouldn't surprise me if they were hooking up behind your back. She's Latina with no familia? Lies and BS. Hispanic communities are very inclusive. They don't suffer fools, though. If she's not welcomed by them, it's because she's done this before, many times. Kick them both out. If she hasn't already taken your man, she's trying to. I wouldn't think a man who disrespects you enough to cuddle another woman on your couch in your home would be worth fighting for. She probably thought it was his place, and she could get him to kick OP out, and boom, free home. Kick him out too, and they can find a place together. They're both freeloading off of you, and disrespectful as heck. Start the eviction proceedings now. Update. Am I the idiot for kicking out my boyfriend's homeless friend? Thank you everyone for the advice and helping me open an eye to the real issue. My life literally took a 180-degree turn in less than 24 hours. The comments were like a slap in the face that I really needed. Apparently I was too blind. Yeah, I guess my boyfriend isn't who I thought he was. He's been trying to give her food, try to calm her down, and literally took a day off from college and work, which he's never done for me. I really wanted to make sure it is what it looks like before deciding on my next move. I prepared lunch way before time and asked him if he was around for lunch, and his response, "I'm trying to get her to have breakfast, and you're talking about lunch. You're becoming unrecognizable." Yeah, I didn't know what to reply, so I just asked again, but he said we could have lunch together if she's willing to join us, as if it's rude if we eat without her. So I invited my guy friend over, explained our situation, and asked him to be comfortable. I didn't want to do the cuddling stuff like them because we didn't break up yet at that point. My boyfriend never realized someone was over until he came to take the food and saw us having lunch together. And he just gave me a look, said hi, and was going to take some for themselves until he realized it was a creamy rice casserole, which his friend doesn't like. And yeah, I did that on purpose. And chicken roast with some sides. And he glared at me and said, "You know she doesn't eat that." I replied, "Well, it's not her who I made this for." He threw the plate and started shouting, asking what was wrong with me, and saying that he wished he had never dated me. It was so scary that my friend got involved. I asked my boyfriend to leave with his other girlfriend, but he replied, "Oh, so you're replacing me that fast?" I told him he was the one who had replaced me a long time ago, but I was too dumb to realize it. He left to take a walk, and I packed his things for him, which aren't a lot, and left them by the front door. He came crying and apologizing and acknowledging what he did was wrong and just other BS I didn't want to hear because the damage was already done. My friend was a great support. He dealt with everything else as I cried my eyes out in my room. And that sums up how I went through my first heartbreak. And it was my first relationship, and I did love him, but I guess I can watch, eat, and do anything now without catering to anyone's needs. I'm changing the locks tomorrow, and we're ordering fried chicken, apparently a proven heartbreak remedy by my friend. Thank you all for the support. Good job kicking the two idiots out. I'm glad your eyes were opened. He was much too concerned with her and her feelings than he was with you and yours. She was overstepping boundaries and he didn't give a crap. Then she tried to have him throw you out of your own home? Yeah, no, it was time for her to go. And him too, since he didn't try to tell her that she was overstepping. Good luck. I, 51 male, have 3 daughters. Kimberly, nearly adult female, Laura, teen female, and my stepdaughter, Jessica, teen. It's hard having 3 teens in the house, but Kim and Laura spend 50% of their time at their mom's house, which doesn't make it too bad. Anyway, Jessica's birthday is this Saturday, and my wife and I were planning a birthday party for her at our house, which I assumed Kim and Laura would attend, since Jessica's been their sister for over a year now. But when I asked Kim what she was getting Jessica for her birthday, she said she completely forgot about it. I told her to buy something before the party this Saturday, and she seemed confused and explained that she and Laura had plans to spend Saturday with my ex-wife instead because the family was visiting. I told Kim that she would attend Jessica's party and could see her mom on Sunday instead. Kim was rude and backmouthed me, saying she's nearly an adult and I don't get to make these decisions for her. I grounded Kim for talking back and took away her cell phone, and now she's giving me the cold shoulder, and my wife has been blowing up my phone asking when she can come to collect Kim and Laura. I told my ex-wife that she wouldn't be collecting either of the girls this week because of Jessica's party. My ex told me that that wasn't her problem and that our girls are old enough to decide where they live. So now I don't think I'm the idiot. Family time is important, and I feel like Kim and Laura should want to attend their sister's birthday party. So am I the idiot for not letting my daughter skip her sister's birthday party? You are the idiot. Oh goody. It's time for yet another episode of Forced Family Blending Doesn't Produce Actual Familial Affection. Who knew? Not that your expectations regarding any teen siblings automatically wanting to celebrate their birthdays together are particularly realistic to begin with. Does Jessica even want her stepsisters at her party, much less under duress? Jessica has been their sister for over a year now. I legit laughed at this. These girls met OP's wife and daughter when they were already teenagers. Just because OP chose to remarry, that doesn't mean that his daughters magically see his wife or stepdaughter as their mom or sister. They're his dad's wife and dad's wife's daughter. They're clearly not close, have their own life plans, and they're right. They are old enough to decide who they want to live with. I'm sure OP will be shocked when the girls decide to live with their mom full-time due to OP forcing his new family onto them. A year? A year. You've been married a year, and you expect your children to miss time with their family, to celebrate and call her their sister, your wife's daughter? Wow, OP, you're selfish. You could go to family counseling and ease them in gently, but you've gone the blustering, bullying, phone-snatching route. If you want them to develop a hatred for Jessica, who seems innocent in this, and ends up with them asking their mom to change custody so they never have to see you, good job. I, 28 male, have 3 siblings, 2 younger sisters, 27 and 25, and 1 younger brother, 24. We are really tight with our 3 cousins, ages 21 through 27. Our parents are together but have recently retired down in Florida. My aunt and uncle moved down there with them, so we've always done big family get-togethers with our cousins and extended family. As the oldest, I've hosted since our parents moved. All my siblings and cousins are in the area still. My wife, Carolyn, 26, was best friends with my youngest sister, Beth, 25, and that's how we met. My wife has always been part of the family and insisted we be the host for things, as we just got our new house. So now to the issue at hand here. Beth had been married for 2 years. We all liked him, especially my brother. I found this all out recently, so bear with me. Beth came to my wife and told her she was having an affair. My wife told her to come clean, but Beth didn't right away. I didn't notice the tension between them then, but now I realize it. Beth did come clean, but trickle-truthed it. It was a bomb in our family when her husband sent the proof to my brother, and my brother blew up our family group chat, calling her a sleaze. My wife has since stopped being friends with Beth. It's just been a lot of drama. I'm supposed to host Thanksgiving this year, and we're already making plans. My wife doesn't want Beth invited, nor does my brother and his wife. My sister wants her there still, and has said as much to me. My cousins are indifferent, basically saying that as the host, it's my call. My parents are going nuts, though. I already had preliminary talks with them about the plan going forward. Here's where I am. I don't want my sister around. My wife and brother/sister-in-law hate her. Everyone else seems to be okay with having her around. My parents are saying I just can't remove her from the family. I said if they don't like it, then they can just visit them for the holiday or host it in Florida. This wouldn't happen, though, due to small kids and money. My uncle and aunt are backing my parents. Beth is apparently in therapy over everything, according to her Facebook post. So I feel like I'm being an idiot, but I also don't have any other options. It's my wife's house too. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. She cheated and that sucks, but why is it your job to be the moral judge of her life and mistreat her? She didn't cheat on you, and she's your sister. Unless there's worse going on or she did something awful in the process of this breakup, or behaves poorly overall, I really don't think it's appropriate for a family to ostracize a sibling over their personal relationship issues. It is so strange to me that you write that everyone hates her now, but you don't list anything she's done to anyone besides her own husband. And that's between them. If he had cheated, would you do the same to him? Like, why is banning the sister appropriate just because the relationship with the husband isn't working? It's weird to me. Yeah, in my family, we're close and wouldn't ostracize a sibling over their bad decisions that didn't directly affect us. I find it alarming how quickly people can get rid of family. The sister was wrong, but is it only affairs? Or are they going to excommunicate anyone who does anything wrong? At the end of the day, they don't have to condone what she did, but it's not their business, and she wasn't trying to bring her affair partner around. Totally disagree. People are allowed to make judgments based on how others act. If someone does something against your value system, you're allowed to feel about and treat them differently as they show you who they are. Actions have consequences. She tried to get his wife involved in a secret that could mess up the family. Thankfully, it only messed up the family for her. Being family doesn't give them some automatic right to forgiveness. Cheating is a scummy thing to do and says a lot about the people who do it. You are not the idiot. You're not required to host. You're not required to magically forgive and forget the crappy behavior of family members. Your wife certainly isn't required to do so. And since you're both in agreement, seriously, it's not your parents' house. And anyone who wants to see Beth is welcome to host her themselves. My 26 female grandparents have 3 children, my dad, my aunt, and my uncle. I have 1 sister, and my aunt and uncle do not have any children. However, my uncle got married about 3 years ago, and his wife Mary has 3 kids. Her kids have barely made an effort to be a part of my uncle's life, although he does see them from time to time because they have a good relationship with their mother. They've made even less of an attempt with the rest of us. I've never even met them. My grandparents have tried to get to know them, but with little luck. My grandparents bought a fairly nice house when I was a baby. I was unaware until a few weeks ago, but it seems their plan was always to sell the house whenever they got ready to move and split the money among their grandchildren. My dad and his siblings will get whatever is left in their will, so this is how they wanted to set up their grandchildren. They've saved a good amount of money for themselves and are now moving into a retirement community. They've sold the house and my sister and I are each getting about $250K. This is really useful for my husband and me. We've been looking to get a bigger house because we're about to have a second kid. So it will allow us to put a sizable down payment on that and still have a lot to go into savings. My sister plans to pay off her student loans and put most of it in savings as well. So we're really grateful to our grandparents because we both feel like this will set us up well for the future. My uncle called me yesterday and said that Mary was very upset because her children were not included. She says that they are my grandparents' grandchildren now too and deserve a cut. My grandparents said it's up to us if we want to share, but they left it to us for a reason. I'm torn because we had plans for that money. If they had made any effort to be grandchildren to my grandparents, I wouldn't hesitate. But they didn't even meet my grandparents until they were in their late teens and early 20s and have made little effort since. Am I the idiot if I don't share? Not the idiot, not even a little teensy-weensy bit. The audacity of them to even ask. This is what your grandparents want for their grandchildren. Your uncle's wife's children are not their grandchildren. It wouldn't be fair to you or your siblings to suddenly split your inheritance 5 ways instead of half because your uncle married a woman with children a few years ago. That's nonsense. Send them gift cards to Chick-fil-A. So it's true that family isn't limited by blood, but there is no relationship between your grandparents and Mary's children. They may be step-grandchildren by marriage, but not by their actions. They have no reason to expect anything at all from your grandparents. Your grandparents wanted you and your sister to be well set for starting your lives. You have no reason to change that. Mary's only been in your family for 3 years. She's absolutely 100% wrong to count on something for her kids, and she's 1000% wrong in trying to pressure you for it. She's a gold-digging fortune seeker. Tell her you're honoring your grandparents' wishes, which is the last on this topic. Your uncle is a real jerk for doing this. I'd block him and his wife.